Cold email doesn't work for you because you're missing the most important piece, and that's the right tech stack. What if I told you that 80% of cold email success isn't about your copy or silly personalization or anything like that, but instead it's the systems, it's the tech, and the software that you use. Crafting the perfect email is just a very small part of the game, okay? It's not everything. The real power is the software and tech and actually landing in inbox. Now in this video, I'll break down the essential tools and infrastructures that you need to make cold emails actually work. Let's get into it. So why is having the right tech stack so critical for cold email success? Now at the end of the day, cold email is just tech heavy, okay? You need to have the right tools and software to effectively manage everything from the volume, personalization, to automation, to actually making sure you're actually getting in that inbox. Now, deliverability is also the foundation of cold email too. So a solid tech stack ensures that you can actually land in the inbox and not the spam folder instead. It helps you manage that domain reputation, warm up your domains properly, track performance to actually keep your domains and your emails running smoothly. And speed is another thing that you need to really think about. With cold email, you need to be fast. You need to be fast with responses, and you also need to be fast when stuff goes wrong, because it will go wrong, okay? Now you need to use automation and fast workflows that enable you to have that speed, that allow you to scale, outreach, and respond quickly as well. Now with the right setup, you can make sure all of this is possible, giving you almost like competitive edge in comparison to other people that are doing outbound marketing. Now the first thing that I want to speak about is domains. You need to make sure that you're choosing the right domain provider. It's so important for your cold email success. Your domain provider isn't just where you buy your domains, it pretty much directly impacts the trust of email providers that they have within your emails. Now, reputation is obviously everything in cold email, and using a respected and reputable provider ensures that you're following industry standards and making sure that the quality of your domains are good. Now, if you use low quality providers, it can simply just lead to your domain getting flagged and significantly reducing that email deliverability. Now, using a very good provider with a very good foundation, with better infrastructure and compliance, means that it will, by default, it's going to boost your domain's reputation, which is obviously important when landing in the inbox. Now, domains purchased from less reputable providers, you're at risk of getting your inboxes flagged. And yeah, it's just, you don't have to deal with that. Another key factor is the ease of setup. Okay, so especially when it comes to email authentication protocols like SPF, DKIM, DMARC, these records are essential for verifying that your emails are legitimate. And a good provider makes it easy to configure these settings, just allowing you to set up fast and making sure that your setup is actually reliable. Now, in terms of domains, in terms of the best place, in my opinion, Porkbun is the best provider to use. It's packed with all the features that you need. So from everything from managing your SPF, DKIM, DMARC, and it's just a very simple domain management tool. It's cheap, it's affordable, and yeah, if you're really serious about cold email, a provider like Porkbun is just going to give you everything that you need in terms of features and flexibility to actually set up your domain infrastructure the right way. Cool. Now, inboxes. This is also one of the most critical parts of your cold email tech stack. Your inbox setup is the be all and end all. Without inboxes, you can't send emails or receive emails. Now, whether you're using Google Workspace, Outlook, or private infrastructure, each does have its pros and cons. But to maximize results, you need to understand how each option impacts your deliverability and scalability. So the first one I'm going to speak about is Google Workspace. Now, as you're probably aware, it's a very trusted and massive business worldwide. And it's known for its robust security, its deliverability, and it also has a centralized management area for managing multiple domains and multiple inboxes. But Google doesn't like cold email. So while it is very secure, I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket. Although like it is a very valuable part of my tech stack and it should be a part of yours. Things can happen within the industry, which means that it might not be optimal to use Google right now, and it may be optimal to use a different provider or private infrastructure and so on. And this is very similar with Outlook, right? So Outlook, once again, offers high deliverability, great tools for managing multiple inboxes. It's well known for professional communication and so on, but again, not cold email friendly. So If cold email is your primary focus or is a method that you're trying to use to build pipeline, although this should be a part of your arsenal, once again, I wouldn't put all my eggs in this basket. Now, next, we have private infrastructures. If you're serious about cold email being a reliable source of generating pipeline for your business, you should have or be looking for or using private infrastructure providers. And this is because they increase the control over your IP reputation and your email authentication protocols because they have dedicated servers, right? Now, you can send, okay, sometimes with some providers, you can send higher volumes and without risking reputation damage. But these setups, so depending on the provider that you get, they're not always going to be as reliable and as sound in comparison to the likes of Outlook and Google. So that's probably the biggest kind of con when it comes to private infrastructures. But what I will say is that if you do find a good one that knows what they're doing, you're pretty much good. Like, it's going to be a lot better for you if you are running aggressive outbound strategies or campaigns. Personally though, I think the best way to approach your sending infrastructure is to combine all three types of inboxes. So use Google, use Outlook, and use the private infrastructure. This is just because diversifying your inboxes, it just ensures that you can adapt to different outreach needs and obviously industry pressures while keeping emails at the spam folder. So if suddenly Google inboxes aren't performing that well, I can use my Outlook and my private infrastructure. If my Outlook inboxes aren't performing that well, I can use my Google and private infrastructure. And if my private infrastructure isn't using, I can swap out the infrastructure different times, which means that I have a more reliable way to get emails into the inbox, which is the key. Now, next, we're going to talk about sending platforms. Now, personally, I recommend Smartlead. If you want to scale your cold email campaigns efficiently while maintaining like high deliverability and stuff like that, Smartlead is one of the best choices out there. So they have unlimited mailboxes and rotating accounts, which means that you can scale your outreach without worrying about hitting sending limits and getting flagged for spam, or less likely going to get flagged for spam. So this means you can manage like larger campaigns with like less stress. They also have AI-powered warm-ups, which simulates natural conversations to build stronger sender reputations. And they also support multi-channel outreach as well. And loads of other different like benefits. But yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share this document with you all. So you have the document, you have access to all the links and the features and stuff. So let's talk about automation and databases. If you integrate the right softwares and tools together, you can really like streamline your workflows and save like ridiculous amount of time and money as well. So first up, we're going to be talking about make.com. So if you're looking to automate repetitive tasks and integrate all your apps into kind of a single unified workflow, make.com is perfect for this. It's my go-to solution. I use it on a daily basis. In my opinion, it's a lot more powerful and flexible than Zapier. And yeah, it's just my personal preference, but you can get similar results with Zapier as well. For database and data management, I recommend Airtable. It's another low-code tool, but it's ideal solution for organizing and tracking your cold email leads. You can use it as like a centralized area for all your lead data, keep it all in one place. And you can also integrate other tools like the sending platforms with make.com with Airtable as well. So like a combination of things. You can also do things like create reports and dashboards inside Airtable as well, which is also fantastic. Cool. Now let's go on to AI workflows. So AI tools like clay.com and GPT-Powered Sheets make it easier to automate like repetitive tasks, enrich data, and also do mass personalization, which is important for some cold emailers. It's important for anyone that does outreach really. Now, first let's talk about Clay, okay? So this is a very powerful platform and it's designed to automate and scale your outreach efforts. So especially if you're working with like large volumes of data, it basically combines data enrichment, AI, and automation all in one kind of tool, so very powerful. It has access to 75 plus data providers for enriched lead lists. It has AI-powered research agents called Clayagent, and it allows you to personalize outreach at scale, which is very powerful stuff. Now you also have the GPT-powered Google Sheets. Now, this is very powerful if you know what you're doing. You can build a lot of kind of Google scripts to work in the backend to allow you to integrate GPT and other workflows as well. So you can create scrapers inside Google Sheets, and then you can allow the AI to interact with the scraped data. It can be very powerful if you know what you're doing. And what you can do, which is great, is just use ChatGPT to actually build the script and then put that into the sheet. So you can then like almost customize your own workflows, which can be very powerful if you know what you're doing. You can get similar results with a GPT sheet in comparison to like Clay, but of course like Clay is a lot more powerful just because of kind of the mass scale of its service, its automations, and the sophistication. But if you're trying to work on a budget, GPT Sheets is a great alternative. Now, website visitor identification. This is something that I started using, I would say, a few months back, or when I came across the product on LinkedIn. Now, this is almost a gold mine because it allows you to turn your website traffic into leads. Now, what B2B is, it tracks the visitors on your site, and then it enriches that data, and it sends that to Slack, and then you can start doing any additional outreach. Like you could connect with them on LinkedIn and say, hi, I just saw you on my site, or you can send them an email straight away. The point is, it helps you capture these anonymous visitors by identifying who they are and sending their LinkedIn profiles to you in real time by Slack. So this means you can instantly know which companies and individuals are visiting your site and actually take action on that intent. Now, what makes this so important is the fact that these visitors, they're high intent leads. They took the time out to come to your website, scroll around, read something on your website, which means that they're potentially interested in your product or service, which gives you a very warm starting point for your outreach. As I said, like you can literally say, oh, so you're looking at my site, or just it's a reason to follow up, which is high intent, or reason to outreach, sorry, which is high intent, or follow up. You could outreach to someone and then they could respond to you, and then they may revisit your site a few weeks later and you can say, oh, I just saw you visited my site recently, like what are you thinking? So it's a very powerful tool and I love it. Now, dynamic lead magnets. With these, this is something I've been using internally for a while, and some of my best campaigns have come from actually using these. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but pretty much it's the process of using your prospect's data and creating a lead magnet that's hyper relevant and hyper customized based on the information. I'm not going to explain any more. Go figure it out. Okay? Now, cool. Scraping. Now, obviously, you can scrape with Clay and export Apollo export.io and stuff like that. But with Instant Data Scraper, it's just basically an automated web scraping tool that extracts data from any website and exports it. And it uses AI within the scraping process. And you can use it on websites like Apollo, like Crunchbase, and just people's websites. And it's just a great way to extract information. I use it myself. I don't know if you can see it here, but I do use it. And yeah, it is just a great tool. Now, as I was talking about Export Apollo, we're just going to go speak about data providers now, okay? So, number one data provider, I use it for majority of my campaigns, is Apollo. 9 times out of 10, I'll use it to enrich data. And it's cost effective compared to other products like ZoomInfo and PitchBook. And pretty much, it's even more cost effective if you use exportapollo.io and other tools. We also have tools like Listkit. Now, Listkit, what makes them good is that you don't actually have to verify or validate the leads after you've scraped them. With Apollo, you do. But with Listkit, everything is triple verified. So as soon as you export the lead off of their platform, you can punch them straight into cold email campaigns. Now, if you do need to do lead verification, my recommendation is MillionVerifier. They're fantastic. I've been using them since I started cold email. They're cheap, they're affordable, and they get the job done. You can't really go wrong with Lead Verifier, and they're a great product. And a very important part of this whole tech stack is verifying and making sure your leads are verified. Cool. So what next? If you want any insights, tips, or exclusive resources, subscribe to my newsletter and you'll get regular updates packed with cold email strategies, sales automation templates, cold email scripts, SOPs, and a lot more advice on how to actually scale your B2B business. As always, drop a comment with any questions or let me know what topics you want me to cover in the near future. Apart from that, thank you for watching and have a good day.